The Avatar universe is no longer just a film franchise. It's a living, breathing legacy that has followed audiences for more than a decade, growing alongside the actors who bring it to life and the fans who return to Pandora again and again. With Avatar: Fire and Ash set to hit theaters on December 19th, that legacy reaches a darker, more intense chapter, one driven not only by groundbreaking visuals, but by deeply human performances, emotional evolution, and a villain who commands attention the second she steps on screen. Sitting down with Denny Directo, Oona Chaplin, Sam Worthington, and Stephen Lang reflect on what it truly means to still be part of the Avatar family all these years later. For Sam Worthington and Stephen Lang, this journey stretches back to the very beginning, when James Cameron first imagined Pandora as a place that could redefine cinema. For Oona Chaplin, a newcomer stepping into the franchise as a villain, the experience has been nothing short of transformative, both professionally and personally. There's a shared sense of awe among the cast when discussing the longevity of Avatar. What began as a bold cinematic gamble has become one of the most celebrated and influential franchises in movie history.
I mean, forget the fact that it's like the biggest franchise in movies.
For Worthington, the word that defines it all is lucky. Lucky to still be telling this story, lucky to still be growing within it, and lucky to be working under a director who treats imagination not as a limit, but as a starting point. Stephen Lang, whose presence has loomed large over the franchise since its earliest days, admits he had no idea what he was truly signing up for when he first cracked open the script. He knew it would be an adventure. He knew it would be ambitious. But the scale of what Avatar would become, culturally, technologically, emotionally, was impossible to predict. What he did know, instantly, was that working with James Cameron was an opportunity he couldn't afford to lose. Even the thought of not being part of it, he says, would have broken his heart. At the center of it all stands James Cameron, a director the cast speaks about with near reverence, not because of his reputation alone, but because of his relentless curiosity. According to Lang, Cameron is the most inquisitive person he has ever met. Someone who approaches every moment on set as a question, waiting to be explored. Nothing is assumed. Nothing is taken for granted. Every decision is rooted in empathy, not just for the characters, but for the world they inhabit and the audience watching from the outside. That empathy becomes especially powerful in Avatar: Fire and Ash, where the emotional stakes are as high as the visual ones. Oona Chaplin, stepping into the story as a new antagonist, describes the experience as being welcomed into a true family. Not just a cast, not just a crew, but a creative environment where growth is inevitable. She speaks openly about how working on Avatar has pushed her forward as an artist and reshaped her as a person, calling it the greatest gift of her professional life. Despite joining the biggest franchise in movie history, Chaplin insists that the scale is never what dominates the experience. What stands out instead is the freedom, the time, the space to explore. Under Cameron's direction, actors aren't rushed toward results. They're invited into discovery. Sam Worthington echoes this sentiment, explaining that Cameron's generosity with time allows performances to breathe and evolve. Characters aren't just written, they're painted, layer by layer, into something epic and deeply personal. One of the most talked about elements of Chaplin's performance is her character's unmistakable, menacing walk, a strut that instantly defines who she is before a single word is spoken. When asked where it came from, Chaplin laughs and jokingly credits James Cameron himself. But beneath the humor lies a thoughtful, almost scientific approach to physicality. She studied how other Na'vi moved, particularly Zoe Saldana, and then asked a crucial question. What happens when a character closes their heart? The answer revealed itself in posture and balance. The center of gravity dropped. The movement became heavier, more grounded, almost volcanic. The walk wasn't just intimidating, it was expressive. It told the audience everything they needed to know. Power, control, danger. The kind of villain who doesn't need to announce herself because her presence alone does the talking. That physical transformation is only one layer of Chaplin's deeper connection to the film. Coming from one of cinema's most legendary families, she carries a last name that shaped the very foundation of film storytelling. Her grandfather, Charlie Chaplin, remains one of the most influential figures in entertainment history. When discussing legacy, Oona Chaplin draws a striking comparison between James Cameron and Charlie Chaplin, two visionaries from different eras, united by their use of cutting-edge technology and their ability to center stories in the human heart. Both men, she says, understood that the most powerful stories are simple at their core, yet infinitely complex in their emotional reach. Charlie Chaplin made the world laugh and cry together in a way no one ever had before. And while no one may ever replicate that exact magic, Avatar comes remarkably close. Its global impact, its emotional accessibility, and its grounding in performance allow audiences across cultures to feel something universal. Stephen Lang adds his voice to that sentiment, praising Oona Chaplin for honoring her family legacy with strength, ferocity, and integrity. He acknowledges the weight of that heritage, but insists she carries it with grace, just as her mother did before her. In a franchise defined by larger-than-life storytelling, it's that sense of authenticity that makes performances resonate. The conversation lightens briefly with playful banter, as Lang jokes about being mistaken for someone old enough to have made silent films alongside Charlie Chaplin. Laughter fills the moment, reminding everyone that even within a cinematic juggernaut like Avatar, there's room for humor, camaraderie, and genuine connection. But the heart of Avatar: Fire and Ash doesn't rest solely on villains or legacy. It lives within family. For Sam Worthington, portraying Jake Sully has become increasingly personal, especially after becoming a father himself. He admits there's often a parallel between an actor and their character, and with Jake, that connection has deepened over time. The emotions of protecting one's family, of navigating responsibility and fear, began seeping naturally into his performance. In this chapter, Jake Sully faces a new internal struggle. He's torn between leadership and withdrawal, action and inaction. He questions the cost of every decision, not just for himself, but for his children. Worthington explains that Jake's kids reflect who he once was, creating a mirror that forces him to confront his own past and his uncertain future. The family dynamic becomes layered, complicated, and achingly familiar. Family, after all, is never simple. It's messy, it's challenging, it's filled with love, fear, conflict, and growth. Whether you're 5 or 50, everyone is still figuring out their path. Worthington believes that at its core, Jake's journey is about trying to create a better version of himself through his children, a universal desire shared by parents everywhere. Despite carrying the weight of destiny, Jake Sully remains a kid at heart. Worthington has always played him that way, someone thrust into greatness without ever fully feeling ready for it. Neytiri's words echo as a defining truth. Strong heart, no fear, but reckless. Not reckless out of ignorance, but out of love, out of a willingness to risk everything for family. That recklessness is what makes Jake compelling. It's why audiences continue to connect with him. He's not perfect, he makes mistakes. He charges forward when maybe he shouldn't. But those flaws are rooted in humanity. And that humanity is what grounds Avatar, even as it soars visually beyond anything cinema has ever known. As the conversation draws to a close, one thing becomes clear. Avatar: Fire and Ash isn't just another sequel. It's a continuation of growth, for the characters, for the actors, and for the world. James Cameron continues to build with curiosity, empathy, and heart. From Oona Chaplin's chilling physical transformation to Sam Worthington's deeply personal evolution as Jake Sully, the film promises an experience that's as emotionally resonant as it is visually staggering. And as audiences prepare to return to Pandora once again, one truth remains undeniable. The fire may be rising, the ash may be falling, but at the heart of Avatar, it has always been, and will always be, about humanity.